everybody. I am Bob Camel, and this is the Daily Cell. Today we have team coverage on processes like photosynthesis and cellular respiration, how they work, and their impact on the organisms they work in. We begin with a job alert at the chloroplast organelle, containing chlorophyll, and how you can help plants make their own food. Now let's go to Alex Cruson.
Hello, I'm Alex Cruson. With the completion of the new chloroplast, there has been a flood of new job opportunities for molecules all over the cell. The chloroplast will fill the role of both sunlight collection and glucose production, which is called the ultimate in solar power. Any electron in search of employment should contact the chloroplast manager to learn more about the opportunity of becoming part of a chlorophyll pigment. The position promises adjustable wages and ample opportunities for upward mobility. Any unemployed water molecules interested in donating their oxygen atom to the chloroplast for the purposes of electron acceptance should also contact Molecular Resources at the chloroplast. Inside the chloroplast, phosphate is still being recruited to operate energy transfer molecules called NADPH. Any interested may contact Chloroplast Molecular Resources. Prior experience with machinery is preferred, but training will also be offered. The new chloroplast is also in constant need of carbon atoms to contribute to new glucose molecules. Any new carbon dioxide molecules entering the cell are urged to donate their carbon atom. These glucose molecules are absolute beasts, 6 carbon atoms all packed with new energy from the photosystems derived from the sun itself. With that impressive vision, we return now to Bob Campbell.
Alex, once again, if you are interested, contact Chloroplast Molecular Resources. Alex will be back a little later in the show to give you a tour of the mitochondria. In related news, after yet another construction of a C3 chloroplast, which uses a 3-carbon molecule in carbon fixation, a debate has begun on whether they should upgrade to a more efficient C4, which uses a 4-carbon molecule, or a CAM system, where the stoma will open during the day and close during the nighttime. However, before this new project can be approved, it will require cooperation from the neighboring cells. We'll have that tour of the mitochondria, as mentioned earlier, coming up on the other side of the break. But for now, Gray, I hear it's getting pretty jammed on the microtubule highways.
I'm Gray with the traffic, and here it is. With the new chloroplast now producing huge glucose molecules, a few troublesome stretches of the microtubule highways have become evident, with the large energy-carrying molecules creating a bit of a nuisance. Traffic near the glucose's destination, the mitochondrion, is also backed up a bit. This is largely due to the need to convert glucose into pyruvate through glycolysis in order for energy production within the mitochondrion to take place. The conversion facility will be a bother to most commuters, but is a necessary evil for the time being. That's it for your traffic report. Any urgent developments will be broadcast as the news reaches us. Now we cut to a commercial break.
Tired of destroying the earth with your carbon emissions? Summertime getting too hot? You should try the Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle is not your ordinary motorcycle. It runs on carbon dioxide, the very substance that would otherwise pollute our atmosphere. And you might be wondering, what does this amazing vehicle release if not CO2? Based off a major stage in photosynthesis, the Calvin cycle emits pure glucose. Amazing, right? You can even get a Calvin cycle for the low price of $34.99. That may seem expensive now, but just remember that the Calvin cycle does not require gas. It runs off a part of the atmosphere. Warning, the Calvin cycle is not real and you should not look for one at any store. Side effects may include plant death, loss of breath, hallucinogenic vision. Do not try this at home, kids. Brought to you by Calvin Cycles, making eco-friendly vehicles for 2 months. Do you like big motorcycles that emit lots of CO2? Do you have some plants that seem to be wilting? Are you feeling too cold in the winter? Have I got the bike for you? Unlike that sissy Calvin cycle, the Krebs cycle is for real respirators. For anyone who wonders how this amazing motorcycle works, stick around to learn about the 5 steps. Basically, the Krebs cycle takes a 4-carbon molecule in and uses the energy found in acetyl-CoA to produce 2 CO2s, 3 NADH, and 1 FADH2. During this cycle, the molecule goes from 4-carbon to 6-carbon to 5-carbon and finally back to 4-carbon, effectively reusing this part of the fuel. All you have to do is put acetyl-CoA in and bam, the cycle will run again. You can even get this amazing bike for the very reasonable price of $1599.99. Warning, the Krebs cycle does not exist except in biology, but if you did not know that, I recommend retaking high school biology. Acetyl-CoA is not sold in stores and only exists in cells, so don't look for that either. CO2 is not good for the environment and will probably not make your plants grow again. Also, the Krebs cycle is a really cheap motorcycle and may fall apart. Do not try this at home, kids. Buy one now!
Welcome back. Now in regards to all kinds of cells, the mitochondria are known as the powerhouses of cells. They consist of an elaborate inner membrane that supports the chemiosmotic synthesis of ATP and a soluble matrix containing Krebs cycle enzymes. Let's now get back to Alex for a tour of these powerhouses.
And I report to you here, at the organelle that lights your home, the mighty mitochondrion. Beginning on the outside, there are loading bays where the pyruvate, that was formerly the glucose, is loaded into the membrane. The pyruvate is quickly broken down again into acetyl-CoA, which is then loaded into what's called the Krebs cycle. The sunlight energy originally gathered in the chloroplast and stored in glucose is now released again and carried elsewhere in the mitochondrion while held inside NADH and FADH2. These energy transporters are then used to power the ETC pumps that overfill what's called the intermembrane space with protons. When this happens, the protons can only flow out through the ATP synthase, which produces nearly all of the ATP for the cell. In total, more than 35 units of ATP can be produced with only one glucose molecule. I'm Alex Crusoe, reporting for the Daily Cell.
Alright, Alex, thank you very much. Now we have breaking news just in regarding the commercials you just saw just a few minutes ago. Calvin Cycles is apparently now suing Krebs Cycles for both copyright infringement and slander. Krebs Cycles used the exact name of Calvin Cycles in their ad, as you noticed. They also called the competition of Calvin a, quote, sissy Calvin Cycle. Melvin Calvin, the CEO of Calvin Cycles, wrote a statement saying, quote, our motorcycles are not sissy. It is very important that they use CO2 and emit glucose, which is very important to the survival of our environment. Also, Krebs would not have the glucose fuel he needs to power his motorcycles if not for our Calvin Cycles. Hans Adolf Krebs, the Krebs CEO, is expected to file a public apology sometime prior to the trial next month. More on this story as it develops. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for making the Daily Cell your choice for all your cell news, and good luck on your biology semester exam.